It's not a sight for the squeamish. While many people wouldn't want tarantulas, centipedes, and bullet ants anywhere near them, police say a South Korean man was recently stopped at an airport in Peru with hundreds of these animals hidden in belts he was wearing under his clothes. Peruvian media say airport security staff noticed the man's stomach looked swollen. It was, with 320 tarantulas, 110 centipedes, and 9 bullet ants that are now being cared for by government officials. Why in the world would someone do this? Money. Peruvian authorities say millions of dollars are made from selling endangered species like some of these. They're kept as pets or bought by collectors, according to Reuters News. And while it's still a mystery why the suspected smuggler thought he could board a plane while hiding tarantulas as big as a human hand, at least the animals are still in the country where they belong. A very warm welcome to the world from A to Z, your nonpartisan source for news and features from across the globe. I'm Carl Azus, wrapping up our second of 2 shows this week. After today, we'll be off for the Thanksgiving holiday until next Monday, December 2nd. Never before have more Americans been expected to travel on what's traditionally the busiest holiday for travel in the United States. Between today and next Monday, tens of millions are planning to go 50 miles or more for Thanksgiving. That's how the American Automobile Association defines travel, as opposed to just visiting a neighbor or family member across town. There are some conditions that could work against those hitting the road or the sky. One is the weather, the other is a strike at an airport.
The busiest travel week of the year is here.
What we think will be our busiest Thanksgiving travel period ever.
Roughly 80 million holiday travelers, just as the weather looks to disrupt. A series of storms could bring rain, snow, or chilly conditions as you try to get to family and friends.
Our command center in Virginia has real-time engagement with all of the airlines to find the most efficient, safe path around weather as it occurs.
In the Midwest, a system bringing rain from the Great Lakes to potentially as far as the southeast. Along the West Coast, mountain snow and rain. This system moving to the central U.S. by midweek, then re-strengthening as it heads east, possibly putting a damper on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Another headache for the 31 million passengers Airlines for America estimates will fly this Thanksgiving travel period. A worker strike at one of the nation's busiest airports. At Charlotte's Douglas International Airport, service employees, who American Airlines contracts to clean planes and provide wheelchair services, striking over low wages. The strike threatening timely Thanksgiving travel. In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
Charlotte Douglas is a hub, a major point of service for American Airlines, but the strike was expected to last for 24 hours, and American said it didn't expect significant disruption to its schedules. One of the companies that workers are striking against says it prioritizes employees' job satisfaction and is, quote, committed to addressing concerns swiftly. On this date in world history. We told you a few weeks ago how the entrance to the tomb of Egypt's King Tut was discovered on November 4th, 1922. This was the date that same year that British archaeologists Howard Carter and Lord Carnarvon actually went inside. They were the first people to set foot there in more than 3,000 years, and they found the tomb almost totally intact. The National Hockey League was organized on this date in 1917. It included several teams, all of which were from Canada. The NHL didn't add any U.S. teams until the 1920s. And in 1863, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln proclaimed a national Thanksgiving Day would take place on November 26th. He wasn't the first president to declare the holiday, and its date would fluctuate for a while, but it stuck as an annual event after that.
World knowledge. The United States has never had a president from what political party? Federalist, National Union, Whig, Liberty. Though President George Washington wasn't affiliated with a political party, all of these others have been represented except for the Liberty Party.
Whig President William Henry Harrison gave the longest inaugural address but served the shortest term. For an infographic look at the American presidency, check out We the People and the President.
Moving fast today to work at a couple extra schools ahead of Thanksgiving. First, we've got Mrs. Watrid's class at Claiborne Middle School. Great to see y'all in Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. Stateside, we're stopping by Chicago to shout out Miss Naughton's class. John Marshall Metropolitan High School is in Illinois. It's Nez Perce High School that's with us today from Nez Perce, Idaho, with Mr. Keith's class online there. In Yorktown, Virginia, it's great to see the students and teachers of Grafton High School. And we land in Nebraska. Big hello to Miss Boselager's class at Grand Island Senior High School. It's in Grand Island.
Where in the world? This is an American city that's home to the nation's oldest fish market. The 23rd Amendment gave its residents the right to vote for president. It receives more rain annually than Seattle, Washington, though it has something in common with that state. This is the U.S. Capitol, Washington, D.C.
At the White House yesterday, U.S. President Joe Biden took part in a Thanksgiving tradition of pardoning two turkeys. Peach and Blossom will not be renamed Wing and Roast. They'll live out their days as agricultural ambassadors in Minnesota. The tradition dates back at least as far as President George H.W. Bush in 1989, though some say President Lincoln pardoned a turkey that was kept as a pet by his son Tad. As Michelle Schlavin reports, there's a lot more to turkey than meets the eye or mouth.
I've got some fascinating and weird facts about the bird itself for you to chew on. And let's start there. Turkeys don't have teeth. So to break down and digest food, they need two stomachs. Swallowing food whole, the glandular stomach softens food with stomach acid. The food then enters the gizzard, where there's small stones. Literally, turkeys periodically swallow tiny rocks. These help the gizzard grind up and break down food. In fact, that's how all birds eat. That's the classic turkey sound, a turkey gobbling. But turns out only male turkeys gobble. They use it to woo the ladies. Called hens. While they strut their stuff and show off their feathers, a gobble announces a male's presence to potential mates. But it also warns any rival turkeys to stay away. Another trait unique to males is that their heads can change color, the skin alternating between red, white, and blue, depending on their emotional state. That could be calm, agitated, excited, and so on. Sounds patriotic, and actually turkeys are what you might call an all-American bird. They're only native to the Americas, and yet they're named after the country of Turkey, which is on the other side of the world. Europeans who first came across the turkeys thought they looked like a type of African guinea fowl. These birds were imported to Europe from Turkey, and they called them turkey fowl. There's certainly a resemblance between the two birds. The Europeans started calling the American birds just turkeys, and eventually the term became exclusive. So there you have it, a few fast facts about the unique bird we call a turkey.
You may know that we've got merch, y'all. It's at worldatozee.org/store, but check it. Black Friday's coming, and we're giving you a discount on some new items that are truly fantastic. Check it out at worldatozee.org/store and enter the code AWESOME24 for a discount through this weekend. Stuffing, cranberry sauce, sweet potatoes, foods far more likely to appear on a Thanksgiving table than ants, crickets, and mealworms. Oh my! But why, you may be asking? A museum in Idaho recently challenged cooks to include insects in side dishes. One of the judges said a cook's culinary skills determine whether the insect pairs well or doesn't with stuff we more commonly eat. It's called Bugsgiving, and the winning recipe was jalapeno cornbread with honey and crickets. Well, who knows? Maybe one day we'll all sit down to hot tikkie with cranbuggy sauce. We'll load up on corn casserole and green bees. We'll scoop out some fried okra and mashed cicadas, sample grandma's beetle nut squash, fight for more macaroni and fleas, and for dessert, pumpkin pecan or apple flies. For now, let's all give thanks not to have any of that. I'm Carl Azus. This is The World from A to Z. Thank you for watching. We'll look forward to seeing you next Monday and hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. You mean the world to me.